Hey everybody, it's Mr. Odom, and today I am going to cover lesson 14.5. So we've talked about the Pythagorean theorem in lesson 14.3, and now we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find distances between points in the coordinate plane, and yeah, so let's get started. First, I have a quote from, turns out to be one of my challenge sixth grade students, probably 4 years ago, who came up with this quote accidentally, and I thought it was very profound. And so I really like this quote. So pass it on to you. And you can reflect on it if you want. I'm not going to pause the video, but just to show you that this is a quote from a student just like you. He was in the sixth grade, and he said, "I did it right by getting it wrong." He was working up on the board, working out a problem very confidently, showing his work and going through everything. And I noticed that he was making a couple little mistakes, but I let him continue. And he turned around and he was very positive. And I said, "You know, Trey, that your work is outstanding. I like how you showed everything, but we didn't get the right answer." And he looked and he stared at the board and he's like, "Oh, wow." He's feeling bad. And I'm like, "Dude, no, don't feel bad. You should feel good. This is how we learn, by making mistakes." And then he lifted up his head. He was positive again. And he just blurted out, "Wow, I did it right by getting it wrong." And everyone was kind of chuckling. And I looked at him. I said, "Yep, absolutely. You did it right by getting it wrong." So anyway, I'll share that story with you. Let's move on and talk about using the Pythagorean theorem. So, one of the things we're going to learn about is there's another theorem. It's called the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. And what's that all about? What is that? It turns out we can use that, the converse of the Pythagorean theorem, to identify right triangles. So if I know all the side lengths, I can go, that's a right triangle. No, that one's not. Yep, that one is. Okay. And then we'll also use the Pythagorean theorem to find distances in the coordinate plane. So there's a formula called the distance formula, and we'll take a look at that. And that'll be one that you will want to write down, try to put it in your memory banks. But if you don't, have it written down somewhere. It's pretty useful. All right, we've got our tools with our level of effort. Hopefully it's calibrated to be working at its maximum today. So first, let's talk about what a converse is. So the converse of a statement switches the hypothesis and the conclusion. So here's a statement. If Mr. Odom is full, then he is happy. So if P, then Q. If Mr. Odom is full, then he is happy. The converse of that statement would be if Mr. Odom's happy, then he's full. Okay? Sometimes the converse of a statement is true. Sometimes it's not true. Okay? So I'm going to pause the video here, and I want you to write down a statement. Think of something that you could put in here. If something, then something. Okay? And then reverse it and take that second statement and put that first. If that second statement now is the first statement, then the first statement now becomes the second statement. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video so that you can do that. And I'm probably going to ask you to take a screenshot of what you write or type and send it to me. Okay, we're back. So let's just remember the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, it's down here. Where is the if and the then part? Okay, in any right triangle. So the way we would would be if we have, it's another way of writing the Pythagorean theorem, a right triangle, then what? Then we can say that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this is another way of writing the Pythagorean theorem with the if-then kind of structure. You'll see a lot of theorems like that as you guys move on um, throughout your math careers. Okay, so if we have a right triangle, then a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so let's look at what the converse would be. Okay, so the converse would be the opposite. So if this equation is true for the side lengths of a triangle, then the triangle is a right triangle. So let me go back. So here, if we have a right triangle, then I can use this formula for the side lengths, and it's true. Okay, so the converse says if this equation is true, then the triangle is a right triangle. And so mathematicians actually have proven that this converse works for every right triangle. Okay, it works for every right triangle. Here's a common error. Make sure that when you're using the converse, that you always substitute the length of the longest side for C. Remember, the hypotenuse is the longest side. So if I give you three numbers and say, hey, are these the side lengths of a right triangle? Then whichever number is the largest, then that number should be the hypotenuse. Okay. And then we have this thing called a Pythagorean triple. It's a set of three positive integers, a, b, and c, where a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Here's an example of a Pythagorean triple. 3, 4, and 5, which would be, here's my a, b, and c. 3, 4, 5 is 1. Here's 1, 5, 12, and 13. So that's 1. And let me see, I think 8, 15, and 17 is another one. All right. Can you guys find any others? Okay. And you can check this. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. 5 squared is 25. Okay. So that works. Okay. So these are called Pythagorean triples. Okay. That's what these are called. All right. Let's look at some examples. Tell whether each triangle is a right triangle. So what do I need to do? First, write down the formula. And I put a question mark over the equal sign. I want to know, is that true? Does 9 squared plus 40 squared equal 41 squared? Okay. And you do the math, and it turns out that yes, 9 squared plus 40 squared equals 41. So this is a Pythagorean triple. 9, 40, and 41. Okay, that's a Pythagorean triple. What about the second one? I write down the formula, I put in the numbers, I do the math, and I see 468 does not equal 576. So this is not a right triangle, where this one is a right triangle. Okay, so let's move on and you guys practice. So tell whether the triangle with the given side lengths is a right triangle. So I'll pause the video so that you can work these out. All right, so we're back. And for the first one, write down the formula. And I see that the left side and the right side are not equal. Okay, so those values are not the side lengths of a right triangle. okay? What about number 2? I put the numbers in there, and I see that the left and the right-hand side are equal. So, yes, that is a right triangle. You can have a right triangle with those side lengths, okay? So that is a Pythagorean triple, 0.75, 1, and 1.25. All right, let's talk about the distance formula. So in the coordinate plane, I can find the distance between any 2 points, x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2. And it's given by this formula, okay? And this is basically kind of like, if you think about this as the hypotenuse and these are the legs, then I would have x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared, which you see that there, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared, which you see that squared, would equal d squared. But then when I take the square root of both sides, then I need to take the square root of everything on the right-hand side, and the square root of d squared is just d. So that's how we came up with the distance formula. So I'm gonna pause the video so you can write that formula down, maybe draw the picture that you see in your composition book. Okay, we're back. So here, let's see this in action. How do we find the distance between these 2 coordinates? First, label them. Okay, which one is your x sub 1, y sub 1, which one is your x sub 2, y sub 2, and it doesn't matter which one you pick to be x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Just make sure you're consistent. Keep the 1's together and the 2's together. Okay, write down the distance formula, plug in the values, and simplify. All right, evaluate these powers. I have the square root of 74, and the square root of 74 is not an integer. You can put that in your calculator. So you just end up with the square root of 74. All right, that's the distance between those 2 coordinates. All right. So now I'm going to pause the video so that you can practice using the distance formula. All right, we're back. Let's see, what did we get? So for number 3, you see what I did. I labeled my points and I put them in the distance. I wrote down the distance formula and put those values, substituted the values into the distance formula, and then found out that the distance between those points is the square root of 41. Let's look at the next one. Number 4, I label the points again, and I just put the numbers in there, and I end up with the distance between those 2 coordinates is the square root of 85. And finally, let's look at number 5. Number 5, I label the points, I write down the formula, I go through the process of substituting the values in for x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, and I do the math, all right? And I end up with square root of 25, which is 5. So the distance between those 2 points is 5 units. So that's it for this lesson. That's all that we need to do for section 14.5. So if you have some questions for me, go ahead and ask me now. All right, so we're back. And this is the last lesson video for pre-algebra. So give yourselves a hand for getting through listening to this voice for 16 chapters of math. All right. I wish we all could have been in class together and I was teaching up on the board and we can interact during the lessons. This isn't my favorite way to do this, but hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. So one last time, this is Mr. Odom, and I'm out.